and welcome to another episode of Ask AJ. I'm here with Edward.
Hello.
So this is Edward's second week in the seat.
I know, you spoiled me twice in a row.
Well, we do like to get your knowledge and advice on Ask AJ because you're at the cutting edge, aren't you? What is it that you do here, Edward?
What don't I do, so?
Yeah, that's a very good answer.
No.
We can probably just leave it at that.
Yeah, good. No, at the moment, very much client facing, so doing a lot of meeting our vendors, getting their homes to market, and one part of that is coming up with floor plans.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about floor plans today.
Drawing floor plans.
Yeah, and what we had noticed when we first opened Ashdown Jones is a lot of other agents were using floor plans that were either too small or not clear enough, or sometimes when you try to enlarge it online it just goes all fuzzy. And we find them really, really important when we're selling a house. So we're going to just take you through the main 3 roles that a floor plan has, and then what to look for if you're not on the market with Ashdown Jones, what to look for in your floor plan to make sure it ticks these boxes. So this is all about floor plans, and we're going to call it the before, during and after of a viewing, and why they're important. So why they're important before a viewing, Edward?
Yeah, so they're really important before a viewing for people to get an idea, before they come to see a house, of its general layout, how it might flow, obviously the size of the house. A lot of people want to get an idea of how big potentially each room could be. So we make sure on our floor plans every room is measured individually, so people can get an idea of how big that room is. You might want to line up
that's even got a hallway
measurement
on that one. That's useful, isn't it? Just to show how big it is.
Yeah. And then, I mean, at the bottom, you've got totals for square footage. You get a general idea of the overall size of the house that you might potentially want to look at.
See, we often get asked by a buyer how we maybe justify an asking price, particularly if it looks quite a lot of money in a particular area. And one of the ways we do it is actually through the floor plan, because we can say, look, it's, let's say, 3,000 square feet. The average price per square foot in this area is just over £350 in this particular village, so therefore it's about £1 million property. And that gives a buyer a lot of reassurance that they know how much house they're getting for their money, and that they can also genuinely compare it to the little cottage down the road that's only 2,000 square foot. They didn't realise the difference.
Exactly. Yeah, so it is important. It's an important figure to have shown.
It really is. We also are metric and imperial for old-fashioned people like me who like imperial. And in the actual viewing itself, do people look at the floor plan to guide them around the house?
They can do, definitely. Maybe more so sort of towards the end of a viewing. Often it's quite nice to let some viewers just go around once they've finished with us, just to get a fuller idea of each room. And then it is good for them, particularly a big house like this one, just to remind themselves of their bearings basically and where each room is.
This is 8,000 square feet. And to give you an idea, a 3-bed semi is about 1,000.
Yeah.
You've got 8 3-bed semis in there. That's a lot of places, isn't it?
That one. You get lost in there. You need that just to find your way out.
Yeah. And then they say, oh, this bathroom isn't in the kind of place I'd want it to be. Yeah. And so we can actually show them where all the the room divides are, and they can see whether they could actually change that and make it more customised to their needs.
A lot of people start talking about while we're on the viewing, or they might even doodle actually on the one that they've been given as to what they could do, or joining 2 rooms together, or even if it's a massive room, separating it into 2 different ones. So it is good to give people that idea of what they could do to a house if it's not quite right as it is.
And how the rooms all sort of link up to each other, because sometimes when you're on a viewing, it's hard to work out which room is. Because sometimes when we go outside into the garden and I look at the house, I think, well, what room's that? And actually having the floor plan can help with that.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so they've looked at the house, they absolutely love it, they've gone home to wherever they live, in Oxford, say, and they're sitting there with their glass of Shiraz and they're looking through the beautiful brochure they've been given by Edward Ashdown Jones, and they look at the floor plan. What are they going to do with that floor plan after the viewing? How's it going to help?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that will follow on from what we just said. So again, they might be picturing in their mind how they're going to use the space. They might be looking around their own house. Oh, that table would fit in that room, or that's big enough for a king bed, or a super king.
That's a good point, because if they have their house on the market, they can compare their room sizes with these room sizes. That's
so
a really
useful
good point.
for that. And then I guess they might want to show family or friends and be like, oh, this is going to be your room, or this is where we're going to put that, or we're going to have our office there, and that kind of
So it creates excitement, and it
does,
actually allows them to future pace, doesn't it? I think it also helps them remember the house, because we looked around this house together, I bet you couldn't remember all the rooms in the house.
There's a lot of
8,000
rooms.
square feet. There was a lot of rooms, wasn't there?
Some of the key rooms, but
Yeah.
not all of them.
We can probably remember the key rooms, but then you think, oh, I forgot about that room. And so that really helps. Okay, so let's talk about the features that our floor plans have that maybe some other floor plans don't have. So what makes them individual to us?
I mean, not to say that not everybody has them, but a key feature for us that everybody looks at is the compass. So we make sure that every floor plan has a compass.
And it says the different times of day where the sun is on the house, which is really useful.
It is, and it's something a lot of people, and you probably know yourself, want to know is basically when you're going to get the morning sun or the evening sun. Can you enjoy that glass of wine out on the patio while the sun sets, that kind of thing.
So that one says PM facing that way, so you know that all these rooms here all get the evening sun, and that is AM that way, so all these rooms get the morning sun. Yeah. That's really useful to know.
It is useful, and I mean, for this one, they've got a sun room on this side of the house, so obviously very important to get the sun in the evening. Their patio came out down here, so it was nice on the viewing to be able to discuss with them. You know, that's where you can enjoy your evenings with friends and family, having a drink out in the sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is an important part of the floor plan.
What about the colours? What do they mean?
Yeah, so basically different types of rooms are colour coded. You don't want to go too crazy with it and end up with a bit of techno colour dream code floor plan. But we try and break it down so purple is bedrooms. Kind of beigey orange colour is kind of more like communal rooms, living space, and then the bluey aqua colour is obviously bathrooms. So you can just quickly get a visual, so you quickly see from that, right, it's got 4 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Just without really having too much of a detailed look.
Sometimes when a house on 3 levels like this is, they can get a bit bedroom heavy, do you find that? And it just makes it a bit more obvious whether they are or not, or whether you could use a bedroom as a living room. And also people like to see things like, well, could I use that room as an external room that, maybe a consulting room that only people can come into that area of the house, and does it have a bathroom then with it? And then if they're thinking about converting or extending, how that would work. So floor plans have got a really important job
to do. They are very important, definitely. And they're very handy, very useful on viewing, definitely.
Definitely.
And good after.
And they're good afterwards as well. And for left-brain people like me, who don't look at any of the pretty photographs that we take, I really like a floor plan because I can envisage the house without seeing lots and lots of pictures of other people's possessions, basically. Whereas you like pretty pictures, don't you?
I do, yeah. Well, it's good that I do. This is what I do.
It's very good that you do. So when Edward goes out, for example, on a twilight shoot, and you're there freezing, aren't you, in the middle of winter,
cold, in the dark,
watching the sun go down, and then guiding the photographer, that's really helpful, isn't it?
It is,
that you are very visual.
Yes, absolutely.
Without going, yep, that's fine. Bye.
She would.
So that's why we are very typical actually of a couple, aren't we, Edward?
Absolutely.
There's a his and a her, and there's a left brain and a right brain person very often, and so the floor plan is appealing to those people who tend to buy on logic.
Yeah.
And then the twilight imagery is those people who buy on emotion.
Absolutely.
But they're very useful for both. So there you go, that's all about floor plans. If you'd like to know whether your floor plan is up to scratch and whether it's good enough to sell your house, or whether indeed you would like to know how we could sell your home and how a floor plan might add to that, then we'd love to hear from you, won't we?
Give us a call.
Give us a call on
01, you've thrown me now, haven't you, there? 015 394 888 11.
It is, that's right. Alright, see you on the next Ask AJ. Bye for now.